Welcome to the Globe Trekker Habitat Build Tutorial and Guide video series. As with all of our products, they are specifically engineered for the do-it-yourselfer for the ease of assembly and quick start-to-finish completion of your project. In part 3 of this Globe Trekker Habitat Build tutorial, you will need to construct 2 spreader bars out of 2 10-foot 2x4s and 8 1-foot 2x4s. On one end of each of the 10-foot 2x4s, attach 2 1-foot 2x4s 2 1/2 inches apart. Ensure the gap will comfortably slide onto a panel. After the front panel adhesives have been allowed to dry overnight, remove one side corner bracket to make room for the preparation and setting into place of the first side panel. For best results, keep in mind that the Sikaflex needs a warm and dry environment to cure. Longer drying times may be necessary for the front panel to remain securely in place. Begin to prepare the extrusions that the first wall will be placed in by thoroughly cleaning them to include a wipe down with lint-free alcohol wipes. Peel back the protective film on the wall panel's lower edge and front edge, just far enough to expose the edges that will fit into the extrusions. Also wipe these surfaces down with a lint-free alcohol wipe. Ensure that the inside corner where the 2 extrusions meet is thoroughly sealed. Then, lay down 4 beads of Sikaflex 552 in each of the 4 glue channels in both the floor and front extrusions. For the ease of lifting the panels, gather a few friends. Place at least 2 scrap pieces of 2x4 just inside the floor extrusions to act as a protective barrier from scratches on the floor when you set the side panel up in preparation of placing it in the extrusions. The protective film that was peeled back earlier may have to be temporarily taped up to keep it out of the way. Lift and place the side panel in the floor extrusion as close to the front wall as possible. Have a ratchet strap ready to pull the side panel forward and into the front wall extrusion. Do not attach the ratchet strap to the vertical front wall extrusion, as this will cause the extrusion to twist. Instead, attach the ratchet strap to the floor extrusion. Use the 1-foot long wall extrusion scrap provided in your kit as an anchor point for the rear of the side panel. For best results, one set of eyes should be on the inside of the habitat watching to see if the front wall is being adversely affected. Likewise, one person should be watching the front of the side panel as it goes into the vertical front panel extrusion, as well as blocking the habitat from moving forward. Additionally, one more person can ratchet strap and provide short but strong bursts of pushing force to move the side panel forward. Careful attention is required to ensure the side panel is properly seated in the vertical extrusion and that the panel is not pushed or pulled too far forward, as this will affect the front wall's attachment to the floor. Ensure the top vertical extrusion is seated. Also ensure the front wall has not been moved by reinstalling the plywood corner bracket and using ratchet straps to adjust the wall's positioning as necessary. Place an additional plywood corner bracket in the rear of the habitat to keep the side wall perpendicular to the floor. Next, begin to prepare the opposite side floor and front wall extrusions by thoroughly cleaning them and wiping them down with lint-free alcohol wipes. Just like before, run 4 beads of Sikaflex in the 4 extrusion glue pockets in both the floor and front wall extrusions. At the same time, peel the protective film on both sides of the bottom and front side panel, temporarily taping the film up to keep it from getting in the way. Once again, lay 2 scrap pieces of 2x4s on the floor of the habitat next to the extrusion to protect the floor from scratches. Many hands make light work. Move the side panel into position and set it upright on the scrap 2x4s. Then lift and set the side panel into place. Use a ratchet strap on the bottom front extrusion and pull against the 1-foot scrap piece of extrusion that you slip onto the rear edge of the side panel. Ratchet the side panel forward and into place, ensuring that the side panel slides into and is correctly seated in the vertical extrusion. Ensure that the corner is still square by attaching a plywood corner bracket onto the lower front corner of the side panel. Adjust the top vertical extrusion as necessary with a ratchet strap. Attach a plywood corner bracket at the rear section of the floor to keep the side wall and floor perpendicular. Set the upper side panel support beams on top of the side panels, one close to the rear of the habitat and one towards the front.
We're going to measure the front distance and then use these spreader bars to actually copy that distance so we can keep these nice and straight up and down. Therefore, with the squares, the distance all uniform, we have a box.
Carefully measure the exterior habitat width at the front panel from the outside surface of the side panel to the outside surface of the opposite side panel. Do not include the extrusions. You will then use this measurement to attach the remaining brackets to the upper side panel support beams. For fine-tune adjustments, use door or window shims. While you are waiting for the glue to dry, it is not a bad idea to add ratchet straps just to hold the extrusions in place. However, do not overly tighten and force the habitat out of square. This concludes part 3 of the Globe Trucker Habitat Build tutorial. If you wish to view any episode of this build, a link in the playlist is located in the description of this video.